This is gonna be the hardest video I've ever had to make, and I'm not gonna be able to get through this without crying. I even have Lily's collar in my hand. Lily passed away very suddenly. She's had health complications, well, for a little while, but nothing related, we don't think, to what happened to her this week. She had like some red eyes a little bit, and she was coughing. I honestly thought it was just allergies because we had been through so many different climates, and she gets that every once in a while. So I took her to the vet when I got here to Texas, and they thought that it was also probably allergies, and so we gave her a shot for allergies that she gets every once in a while, and it didn't clear up, but her cough was more like, not like a kennel cough, but like a kind of like a hacking, almost like she had a dry throat and was going to hack up something, but she just never could. But then like this last weekend, she was eating her food and she couldn't breathe very well, and she kept trying to like suck in air, and then she kind of got better, and then the next day this was last Monday, was eating again, and she had a really bad episode where she just couldn't breathe and she was trying to suck in air, and it lasted for like 5 minutes, and I thought I was gonna lose her right there. It was so difficult to watch her. I thought she was gonna suffocate to death and like collapse, and so like I calmed her down and got her breathing better, and all this was very new. She never had anything like that happen before. I looked up the emergency vet nearby because of course this was at night. It was like 30 something miles away, and I thought, well, it only seemed to happen like when she was eating, so I took her food away and got her calm for the rest of the night, and she was fine. She still had a little bit of that cough every once in a while. So I took her to the vet the next day, and I'm thinking it was due to her collapsed trachea, because she had been diagnosed the beginning of the year with the beginning stages of a collapsed trachea, which happens in small dogs apparently. We decided to go ahead and do blood work and x-rays, which we had already done in July at a different hospital in Colorado when she had that really bad episode there. Again, not the same thing, more of like a pancreatic issue. And the vet called me that afternoon and said that her blood work actually came back pretty good, except for her white blood cell count was abnormal, and then she had a mass tumor in her lung, and he believed that it was cancer, and he was very worried about it, and he sent it off to radiology, and they were going to confirm, and we wouldn't get that back till the next day. So he's like, just take her home and let's continue. But I think we both knew that it wasn't good, and it came back the next day, and sure enough, it was cancer, and it was very aggressive and fast growing. Like, she went downhill so fast in like a week. I just couldn't believe it. It was night and day. Last week I had no idea that I would lose my girl this week. And he said, we can give her medications and various things that will keep her comfortable, but he said, she could last a couple of days, she could last a week, she could last a month, but he didn't think that it would be that long just because of how aggressive this was. And if you go back and look at the x-rays from July, there was no tumor there at all. We can see like a faint shadowing in that area, but not like what we were seeing now. And because it was in her lungs, it was making her cough, and she was having the breathing issues. And, the last thing I want my dog to do is to suffer. I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to collapse and, not be able to breathe. Like, that would be the worst thing in the world. So I had to make a very hard decision to say that I was going to have to let her go, but I still wanted, selfishly, maybe a couple more days with her to say goodbye. I think I hugged on her so much and snuggled with her, and we had, as good of days as we could have had the last days. The last day before she passed, I took her to the beach on the Gulf, which is only a couple hours from here, and let her be in a place that she really loves, which is the beach and the ocean. And she walked a little bit, and the rest of the time she just stayed on the blanket and soaked up the sun. I mean, I could tell so much that she wasn't feeling good. She was so slow with her walking, and I talked to her a lot. I told her like what was happening. That I felt guilty, because I didn't prevent it. I try to like keep toxins out of my home, feed her good food, and And here she still, you know, got cancer. And it's hard when you have to make that decision for your pet. Many of my friends have said that being able to choose the time for your pet to go peacefully is a gift that we can give them. We don't even get that as human beings, and it really put things into perspective for me. But it's always so hard because you think, like, is it too soon? Can I have some more good days with her? But when we were sitting on the beach and I was talking to her and telling her, and I was like, I need you to help me, give me a sign that you're ready to go. And as I was talking to her, she like came up and got in my lap and started just looking on my hand and looked up at me with these eyes. And I knew she was saying that it was okay and it was time and she was ready. Her poor little body was just giving out. She just turned 15 on September 17th. And, you know, honestly, I thought I'd have several more years with her. Just the way that she was so vibrant and she was all over the place running, and I just love that girl, and I will always love her and miss her. And this has been so difficult to be without her. I mean, she was not only my dog, my companion, my pet, but this explorer with me. She was my partner in crime. She did everything with me. She, you know, hiked with me, walked with me, slept in the bed with me. She ate next to me. She would come and cuddle with me on the couch or the bed or the chair. She would be outside with me when I was outside. She even went kayaking with me last year. Like, that girl was up for anything. I feel so blessed to have her in my life, to have the joy that she gave me, and feel her love for me. Lily's story is so beautiful, and she I don't know what happened to her in the first 4 years of her life, but when I adopted her from the Seattle Humane Society, she was 4. She came from California as a rescue. I was living in Seattle, Washington at the time, and I saw her online. I had lost my dog Dylan 3 years prior and thought it's time for me to get another dog. And I had searched and searched and searched for like 3 months and couldn't find any dog that I felt like was a good fit for me and for the dog. And I saw Lily online. I was like, that's her. There was something about it that I knew was her. And I went to go meet her. She ran over to me and jumped in my lap. And I'll never forget this. She was shaking. And when she jumped in my lap, she snuggled right here against my neck with her neck and her head. And she just stopped shaking. And I was like, that's her. I just knew it. And it's been like that ever since with us. We were just so close. I think we gave each other the love and the joy that we really needed from each other. And that's how our whole life has been with each other the last 11 years. And I think what makes this hard is that it's not just losing a pet for me. It's losing this companion. I've had a remote job for the last 7 years of her 11 that she's been with me. And we've done everything together. So it's not just that I'm losing a pet. I'm losing this being that has been with me and does everything with me. So it's hard. I want to share with you some video of her and some photos of her to remember Lily. I know so many of you loved her too, and she, you know, gave you guys so much joy through this lens and the videos each week. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to document all of that and have these memories of her. She is part of my story, and I'm part of her story, and I'm so eternally grateful for that. So I want to celebrate her life now. She's so funny. Like, this one time I remember we were at a park and I was feeding the birds outside through the side window, and all of a sudden Lily just perked up in the chair and she did this.
This is what Lily does when you share your food with the birds. I'm throwing it out the window. She's mad because she's not getting it. I didn't even know she would get mad. What? Look at that poor little look.
One of her other favorite things to do was she would run around the beach. She loved the sand, and she would run and hop and skip and flip up dirt everywhere. She just made me laugh when she did that. Being on the beach was Lily's ultimate joy, and I'm so glad that I was able to give that to her by traveling all over this continent, North America, from Alaska to all of these states in the United States. We've been to almost all 50 states except for Hawaii. We've been to Baja, down in Mexico, and she was able to experience this world. And I feel like she's a lucky dog. Like, she lived a very good life. She was a very lucky girl. Not all dogs in the world get this opportunity, and I'm glad that I could give that to her and she could experience, and that she was up for doing it. Here's another time too where I had just bought my house before RVing, way before RVing, and I had put in this new yard in the back with like a little bit of grass and some rocks and shrubs, and this is what she did. She loved it. No matter what I was doing or where we were going, Lily was joyous. She was so content, and she just was up for anything, from adventures to just hanging back and relaxing and enjoying the birds, the sounds, her feet in the dirt, on the rocks and the grass. She was just up for anything, and she enjoyed life to the fullest. And maybe we should all be more like dogs, happy without worry for the most part, living our life and enjoying the things around us and being peaceful and loving and just giving so much love to everybody. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. She made me laugh. She made me giggle all the time. I even taught her how to say I love you, because I wanted her to say I love you back to me, because I said it to her all the time. So selfishly, I taught her that, but I thought it was the cutest thing, and it was something that we did all the time. I love you. Good girl. Good girl. Lily, letting go of you was the hardest thing I've ever done. The pain is so real and extreme, but I know you are better now and no longer in pain. Enjoy your perfection over the Rainbow Bridge, frolicking with your brother Dylan and all the other pets. You will live in my heart for all of the rest of my existence, my sweet girl. I love you. Go, go, go. Good girl. Up. Good girl. Right there.
What's she doing? What's she doing? Sitting there staring at her. What's going on, Lily? Lily, come! Lily loves it here too. Don't you, girl? Lily is 14 today. Did you sleep good?
I'll always be with you. I'll always be with you. I'll always be with you.
You ready? Go.